Hello everyone, it is me, Wretched Scary Toes. No, it's not that. It's Flamingo. I don't know why I name my animals these things, but can't win them all. Anyways, today is a lesson/tutorial, which I hate making these types of things because I need to be able to edit it and make it funny, but whenever I'm trying to explain stuff, it just becomes boring. So hopefully it's not boring and it's more instructive, but nobody likes to learn and be instructed. I mean, people like to learn, but most people don't. So
I hope this isn't boring.
I'm gonna try my best to make it have a little spark of personality. I think this is a pretty requested video. This is basically an interior design lesson, and I posted how to decorate exterior decorating lesson Animal Jam in the past. To be honest, my tactics have changed a little bit since then. I wouldn't, oh god, did you guys catch that? That was scary. I wouldn't really decorate as much of this style, but it's still good, I guess. But honestly, I don't think I was very helpful in that video at all. I was kind of just rambling. So this video, I've written a straight up script. I'm going to try and really make it so that decorating actually makes a lot of sense. I'm going to be giving you specific ideas and help. And I think this is going to be really helpful. I'm also going to be answering a lot of questions in the comments if you have any. So it should be your chance to get some help from Flamingo on decorating. Anyways, this is kind of an introduction to decorating. I'm just telling you how to use a specific color scheme easily and make it look really good. But if you want to use something that has more colors and design something more like this, then go for it. It's just going to be a little bit more challenging. I'm still a human and I cannot decorate beautiful things in 10 minutes. If I want to make a really good den, it's going to take me a long time. That's the first thing to just get off my chest. If you want to decorate a good den, have patience. To start, I just want to mention what I think the best dens for interior design are. So these are ones that you're going to want to start off decorating. Any small house is pretty good, but probably not as good as the others that I'm about to say. The fantasy castle is really good if you can match that color scheme. The lucky castle is a very good starter den because it has this flooring, which is actually really good. So this is good if you want to do a dark wood theme because you're going to have a lot of contrast. Also, Cosmo's treehouse interior is good. You guys know how I feel about the exterior. The haunted mansion is probably the easiest one, or the epic haunted manor is probably the easiest one on this list. These upstairs rooms, if you just gather a bunch of Halloween themed den items and work on decorating in this, it's very good to practice in. You will just be on the edge of your seat amazed when you see the magic of this den. Also, Graham's Observatory. Specifically, this room in Graham's Observatory is really good because the floors and walls are very good for decorating. The default floors, I don't know what wood floors look like in here. They're still good, but I like this one. Oh my god, where is it? Oh, okay. Also, Sir Gilbert's Palace. Probably not the two bottom rooms, but this upstairs is a pretty good room to decorate if you want to match this sort of style. And no, this is not what the den looked like. I recycled most of the items in here. Please believe me. The reason that these dens all got chosen,
I think they have a pretty common theme.
They have small rooms and they already have some style and they're pretty easy to match with. But you do have to make sure that you work with that theme in mind. You have to make sure that you're matching it. Okay, I need to move on to the actual point of the video. So this is the first step to this process. You need to take a second, actually more than a second, a lot of time to stop and think about what items you want to use for your theme. I recently think I've gotten a lot better at decorating because I've started not trading him. Just because he's on my trade list doesn't mean I want to trade him. It means I want to show him off. No, I'm kidding. Better, but sorry, kid. Need more rares than that. So for example, if you want to start decorating a small house theme, you don't just want to open your inventory and just start looking at things and just throwing things down. That's what I would used to do, and it's just gonna make your brain sort of dead as you just scroll through your inventory and click on things and just shove things and nothing looks good. You need to stop and think. Also, yeah, because oh my god, your brain will be dead and you're just gonna spend probably over an hour just not knowing what to do. You need to stop and think and be okay,
what am I gonna do? What's the game plan here?
So you're gonna want to think about items that you might want to use. So go to your trade list and just scroll through your inventory and see what you like that you think matches the theme. Think about certain parties that might match the theme you're going with. So let's say I'm decorating a candy den. Instead of just searching the word candy, I need to get more in depth with that. Of course, that helps to just do this and just select these items and just
place them down.
But there's probably more items in the game. So what if you think,
oh, what about that party?
Because there are multiple parties that sell candy themed den items. And you could come here and you're gonna find items that you totally forgot existed that are perfect for your den. Also take the time to think about adventures, just anything that will pop certain ideas into your head. And then of course keywords, like I just searched the word candy, but you can also search the word like dessert.
Nothing comes up.
Cake, there you go. Like I forgot that this existed, but that's perfect, right? Baking, this came up. Lollipop, anything. Because not everyone just remembers items off the top of their head. We don't have a list in our head of things that we can just scroll through. You have to take the time and think about the items that you need to use. I promise you, it'll make it so much easier if you just gather your items before you start. But you need to gather them in a certain order. And I'm gonna explain that now. So let me go ahead and explain what I mean by that.
Step 1
of decorating your den. By the way, I'm gonna do the friendship fortress, I think. Step 1 is to make a base layer.
What does that mean?
You're going to want to gather items for the structure of your design. What the heck? So I'm calling this the first layer, and it's basically just creating a little layout or structure for whatever you're decorating. This includes kitchen appliances, fireplaces, wooden items like these tables I'm using, and maybe some wooden chests or something, and also flooring. It does not include chairs or couches or lamps or rugs. That sort of thing, you're gonna wait a second. The reason I'm separating these certain items into layers is because I'm trying to explain how their color scheme works and how to make your color scheme look good in a den. Basically, this base layer, you might want to have a raw material texture like wood or something in addition to a color, or you can do like 2 base colors. But in this case, this is pretty simple. I just have white and pink as my base colors, and then I also have the material. I'm not going to call this a color because technically it's brown, but I'm going to call it a material because it kind of follows different den decorating rules if you want to get specific. But I have my material wood and some stone. So like I just said, pick a color or 2 that can be for your base items specifically and not for the other items you add later. For the rest of the den items you add, you'll probably want to use a different color or a different shade of pink. Also, you need to select your flooring. Now I'm gonna make this plain and simple. You're gonna want to pick floors that just don't match any colors. Like basically just the brown tile floor or tan carpet, but usually the wood floor is gonna be your best bet. Wood floors, I dare you to go onto Pugfluff's feed and just look for a den that doesn't have wood floors. If you look at her interior design, what floors does this have?
Wood.
Think about how weird it would look if that was pink floors. Like it would just not look good. They all have wood floors. Wood floors are just a den decorating necessity. As you can see here, I decided to use the wood floor because it provides a lot of contrast. If I just use this tan carpet, this table would just kind of blend. So, you know, just go with wood floors. Get wood floors if you don't have them already. Spend some time playing Forgotten Desert and trading to get these wood floors. They are so good. There are times when you can get away with using colors in flooring, but as you can see here, that doesn't look awful because I don't have blue already. If you used pink floors with your pink base, it would just look really bad. And the blue still doesn't look that great either. The best bet is just going with a nice dark wood floor. I've spent like 30 minutes talking about flooring. People have other things to do, Flingoop. I'm being quite selfish, absorbing all your time. Did I just use the word absorb? Oh my god. So, it is now time to pick your second layer items. These are still kind of your base items, but I just separated them because you should use a different color for them. This includes walls, couches, chairs, lamps, rugs, and windows, that sort of thing. These should just be like a darker color. I mean, not always a darker color, it can be a lighter color too. But yeah, just a different color than your base material color. So in this case, I think purple and blue would look the best with pink, and that's why I use this blue wallpaper down here. If I were to use pink walls, it wouldn't look awful, but in my opinion, it doesn't look as good. And I would have used purple, but they don't have purple walls. Well, part of this is purple actually. But if I'm being honest, I used pink walls with pink den items up until like literally probably like 2 weeks ago. Using a separate color will just draw more attention to this light base item color, whereas pink walls, pink floors, and everything just gonna confuse people's eyes, and their eyes aren't gonna know where to go when they look at the den. We're trying to center their eyes on this base color. I also talked about how the second layer should include things like couches, chairs, lamps, and that's because those items use like fabrics, so it's sort of a different texture. So I just need to take some time to gather those items. As I said, I'm not putting everything together, I'm just using like a brainstorm and thinking about what items might look good. So once again, instead of using pink for these like fabric sort of textures, I'm gonna use purple. That has green, I do not want green. And of course, just make sure everything has a lot of contrast and it doesn't like blend into the floor or something. If this was over here, it would just kind of blend and look weird. Also, there's just totally so many exceptions to the rules that I was just describing. Like my chair right here is wood, and obviously another base material. I mean, a first material layer The first layer materials are also wood, so like that's gonna kind of match. I think wood plays sort of a different game than the other difference in first and second layer materials. Like, I would rather not see a pink chair if you're gonna have pink chairs, lamps, and other second layer materials if you're gonna use first layer materials as pink. But wood sort of is just its own separate beast, and you can just have wood used in both the first and second layers, if that makes any sense at all. I feel like I make no sense at all. Remember that you have the comments, so go leave questions. I'm going to try and answer as many as I can for this video specifically because it's going to be so confusing. So since I'm still like gathering materials and stuff, just take a moment to think about what you might have in your house in real life. That's just another little helpful tip. Okay, so I've gathered like a ton of stuff. If you're confused about what sort of fits into the categories, I think that first layer is kind of like your background items, second layer is like big-ish items, and then third layer,
which I'm gonna get to next,
the smallest sized items in my opinion. But you do not need to get that confused over the layers. I'm just sort of using it as like a template for the order of how you want to design your den. But if you break a couple rules, it's still gonna be a good den, honestly. It's just to make everything look more lively and natural. Anyways, we're still just brainstorming items, so now I'm gonna talk about the third layer. If you want to start decorating and then you can brainstorm your third layer items, just
do whatever you want.
Third layer, like I said, they're just this sort of, let me read my script instead of just talking. So the third layer doesn't always need a super specific color scheme, but you want to try and match your second layer colors. But when I say third layer items, it sort of means like knickknacks, items with a very specific theme. It's sort of like it's kind of the things It's the sort of kind of things that make the room feel lively, like a dog bed and a bone in the corner, or a little art easel. This bottle of soda would be a really good example. But like I said, you need to take time to think about items that you might want to use and look at certain parties and stuff. For example, there's this grocery bag, which I never really used and I pretty much completely forgot about. So I think when it comes to the third tier items, you want to get really specific to your theme for a home run. I sound like I'm 80. If you're still confused about what this third layer means, I have some more items on my list. Coat hangers, little flower pots. Oh, that's all I had. Okay, well, I think you probably get the point, right? Yeah. If not, leave a comment. I'm gonna continue to emphasize. I'm going to be answering your questions in the comments. Also, I'm gonna classify this as a third layer item because I feel like it's a different shade of pink than that first layer, so I think it should still be allowed to take part. Oh, by the way, if you click this little panda tab in your inventory, that generally has some of the best third tier items. Okay, so here are some of the third tier items I gathered. So now I think I'm ready to start making arrangements. When it comes to arrangements, I honestly couldn't think of any specific rules that can help you. I just recommend using trial and error. But I do have a couple tips. You want to try and like make things look organized and not spontaneously thrown around, but that's kind of obvious. That looks pretty cute. Okay, so no, I'm not done. I just had an idea to make it better. No, I don't like that. Never mind. Never mind. Hideous. Okay, so as you can see, I actually did end up bringing out the color a little bit, and you'll probably also notice that
I actually broke my own rules.
See, I used the same color in the first layer as I did in the second layer by using a white chair. That just goes to show that like you need to use your best judgment and just use my layering guide as like a reference, because you have a brain and it will tell you if something looks good or not. Usually, sometimes I actually can't tell. I definitely like this area of the room a lot better, and you'll probably notice that because of contrast. As you can see over here, everything sort of blends into the floor a little bit more, and that's kind of just why I recommended a dark wood floor, like I said, because this area does have less contrast. I definitely think it would have looked better if I used like Graham's, whatever his house is called. Originally, I was not anticipating using these items because I used all these colorful items. Taste the rainbow, kids. But I really hope this is helpful and you can sort of use these ideas to gain inspiration, because when I hear the word inspiration, I don't want it to be like you guys scrolling through my Instagram or something and just like copying things down. It should be more of you using your own judgment and creating something that's totally your own, but you can use these tips just because I'm not giving you like an exact thing to replicate. Also, I don't want to make it seem like this is the only way to decorate dens, because, you know, some people just love like nature dens and stuff, and that's not really my style. But if you like doing that, do whatever makes you happy with den decorating. Once again, I hope that was not too boring, even though I know it was. I just know, listen to myself talk, I'm like,
shut up. You know, just shut up.
Oh, I'm chewing gum right now. You guys can probably hear that. Anyways, if you enjoyed today's video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know if you want to hear more like den decorating tutorials. Also, comment any of your questions. I've said this
so many times,
but I'm gonna reply. This crow is like really staring me down. But yeah, enjoy the TikTok. Bye.
Oh, a stupid dog. Wow. Get out of here. Get crapped on. You're